to victory has no shortcuts. It is paved with trial and error, sweat and tears. When you push the limits of what is possible, victory will greet you at the finish line, no matter how you get there. BMW is a proud partner of the 2016 U.S. Olympic and Paralympic teams.
Take a test drive to support Team USA and help raise up to $1.5 million and beyond during BMW Drive for a Cause. Register today.
Chuck Scarborough and Natalie Pascarella, weeknights at 6.
Now at 6.
Oh my God.
The worst mass shooting in U.S. history.
He said he has us and he's going to kill us.
Tonight, News 4 has every angle covered, from the lives lost.
I just feel terrible.
To those who escaped the gunfire, strangers helping strangers.
I didn't know if he was dead or alive.
And new information about the man behind the attack and his ties to New York. Live coverage of the nightclub terror in Orlando begins right now.
And good evening, I'm Rob Scmidt.
And I'm Linda Baquero. On this tragic day, here's the latest right now on the massacre. The death toll, at least 50, and at least 53 others injured. We've also learned that the gunman, New York native Omar Mateen, bought his weapons legally within the past week. And investigators say there are no other suspects.
We have live team coverage tonight from Florida and here locally on both sides of the Hudson. The scene, the investigation, and reaction from all over. We begin in Orlando with News 4's Mark Santia. Mark.
Rob, a very, very tough day. You can feel the heaviness. As soon as we stepped off the plane here, people were talking about the massacre. We are just down the street from Pulse. You can see barricades are set up. There is a very heavy police presence here. Active investigation still going on right now. Just beyond that barricade is Pulse. Right down the street, though, I want to show you that heavy police presence. About a half mile down, roads are shut off here. But we did see something down there that was moving. Groups of people gathered. They're holding signs saying they're praying, they're thinking about the victims. They're giving out water down there to first responders. Matter of fact, take a look at this Cleaners just down the street from Pulse. Front window, our prayers are with you. Orlando strong as a country, as this community, and dozens of survivors trying, struggling. What happened here just hours ago?
All of a sudden we heard like a boom, boom, and we thought it was like the stereo. We're like, oh my goodness, is something going on with the, just the music.
The nightclub's bartender describing the frightening sounds, bullet after bullet.
Look at that, just shooting back.
The popular Pulse gay nightclub was packed with hundreds of people partying on a Saturday night. At around 2 a.m., a gunman carrying an assault rifle and a pistol walked in and started shooting.
Everybody else was falling and dropping, and everyone was screaming. The privacy fence, I know, went down. I crawled out.
Clubgoers ran for cover, hid out in bathrooms, and helped each other try to escape. They described a scene of panic, which was made worse by loud music and darkness.
I ran. I mean, I just was trying to get out of there as soon as possible. I just didn't look back, just ran to get out of there. That was my first instinct.
Dozens of police vehicles swarmed the area, and when the ambulances were full, pickup trucks transported shooting victims to the hospital.
It's been very hectic. All over, the vast majority of the gunshot wounds were to the chest, the abdomen, and the extremities.
The sole suspect, identified as Omar Mateen, was armed with an assault-style rifle and a handgun. About 3 hours later, SWAT teams stormed the club. There was a gunfight, and Mateen was killed. It was an agonizing wait for those with loved ones inside.
But I don't know where my son is. No one can tell me where my son is. If he's been shot, if he's dead, no one knows.
But city leaders insist Orlando must stay strong.
We need to support each other. We need to love each other. And we will not be defined by a hateful shooter.
Several vigils are planned this evening throughout the community. Rob and Linda, I have to tell you, I've been to Orlando several times, brought my family to Orlando several times. I've never seen the streets, expressways here. I've never seen them this empty. A lot of people at home, a lot of people trying to absorb just what happened here today. A very emotional day. People here we've talked to in shock, trying to process the horror that happened here in Orlando. We're live in Orlando. I'm Mark Santia, News 4 New York.
Yeah, and all of us here as well trying to cope with this, one of the worst massacres ever. And we are learning tonight that a Long Island native was among the shooting victims. Marissa Delgado was shot 6 times. Her mother posting on Facebook to pray for her daughter, saying she's not doing good. She's in surgery. She has lost a lot of blood. Delgado is a graduate of Glen Cove High School. At last check, she was in critical condition.
Well, President Obama addressed the nation from the White House yet again this afternoon, the 15th time the president has held a news conference in the aftermath of a mass shooting. He declared this an act of terror and hatred and reiterated the need for better gun control in the United States.
Today marks the most deadly shooting in American history. The shooter was apparently armed with a handgun and a powerful assault rifle. This massacre is therefore a further reminder of how easy it is for someone to get their hands on a weapon that lets them shoot people in a school or in a house of worship or a movie theater or in a nightclub. And we have to decide if that's the kind of country we want to be. And to actively do nothing is a decision as well.
You can certainly sense his frustration there. President Obama ordered flags to be flown at half staff at the White House and federal buildings. He also requested the same observance at embassies and other U.S. government buildings abroad.
Well, Omar Mateen was known to law enforcement authorities. There were warning signs twice before the FBI questioned the suspected killer, and twice before they let him go. As in earlier contacts, there was little evidence at the time tying this American citizen to any terror conspiracy. The I-Team's chief investigative reporter Jonathan Dienst is in our newsroom now with the latest information about the suspected ISIS terrorist. Jonathan?
Linda, he bought the two weapons earlier this month. He called 911 this morning, declaring his allegiance to ISIS. And moments later, he went in and fired away at his victims inside the gay nightclub.
29-year-old Omar Mateen first got on the FBI's radar screen back in 2013. His co-workers at a security firm warned he was voicing support for radical Islam and terror. The FBI questioned him twice.
Ultimately, we were unable to verify the substance of his comments, and the investigation was closed.
In 2014, Mateen spoke with this radical Florida man, Moner Abu Salah, who later would travel to Syria and carry out a suicide bombing there. The FBI again interviewed Mateen.
We determined that contact was minimal and did not constitute a substantive relationship or a threat at that time.
Then a couple of weeks ago, Mateen bought a handgun and a rifle, and later used a handgun and an AR-15 like this in the massacre. The shooting in Orlando happened a 2-hour drive from Mateen's home near Port St. Lucie, suggesting there was a lot of planning. Before opening fire, law enforcement officials say he called 911 to pledge his allegiance to the ISIS leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. And in calling 911, he also praised the Tsarnaev brothers who carried out the Boston bombings.
We're looking into any and all connections, both domestic and international.
Mateen was born in New York. He was married and divorced. His ex-wife described him as abusive and unstable. Mateen worked private security for G4S Security in Florida. It's unclear if Mateen had help in this attack. As of now, officials tell us he appears to be a lone actor. But his targeting of the gay nightclub could mirror calls by ISIS in its online videos to target the lesbian and gay community. Videos posted by the terror group show horrific killings of gay men where they are thrown from rooftops.
Reached by phone, the killer's father tells NBC that a couple weeks ago, his son became enraged when he saw two gay men kissing on a street, claiming this murderous attack was likely hate-inspired, not terror-inspired. The FBI now tracking all of Mateen's activities going back months to find out why he acted now and whether anyone was leading him or helping him. In the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Dienst. Back to you.
And he was legally allowed to buy guns. Jonathan, that is amazing. Okay, thank you. Well, there are signs of this tragedy in the city. Tonight, City Hall will be lit up in rainbow colors in memory of the victims. And a bit further north of there in Greenwich Village, security is standing guard outside the Stonewall Inn. And News 4's Ray Vieta picks up our team coverage from there. Ray.
Rob, a large outpouring of support tonight outside the Stonewall Inn as a vigil is underway to remember those victims of this vicious Orlando shooting. And they're doing that all under the watchful eye of the NYPD counterterrorism unit. You can see they're armed with long rifles. The message to the city, to this community, it is safe.
I put flowers down today just because I was devastated about the news.
An outpouring of support outside the iconic Stonewall Inn.
This is just unbelievable. It's a sad thing, and again, my heart goes out to the families and friends of those. I'm in disbelief.
My heart goes out to all those victims out there. That's terrible.
Flowers line the outside of the bar as members of the NYPD counterterrorism unit line the street armed with long guns and support.
We move around the city. We have several teams that are moving around. They're covering the parade right now, as well as other locations throughout the city.
As a member of the community and as a law enforcement officer, criminal justice professional, I want the community to understand that I am out here monitoring the situation, that the community has advocates and allies.
The Stonewall Inn is known as the birthplace of the gay rights movement. A year ago, it celebrated a Supreme Court ruling supporting gay marriage. Tonight, people will gather again, this time in solidarity with the victims of the Orlando shooting.
It happened so far away, but it affects everybody.
And you can see that vigil is underway right now to honor those killed in the Orlando shooting. In the meantime, I can tell you, we spoke to the counterterrorism chief, and he told me his message to the LGBT community is to continue living your life. The NYPD is watching. We're live in the Village tonight. I'm Ray Vieda, News 4 New York.
Thank you, Ray. And from Manhattan, now to Long Island, a somber moment of singing and silence before a planned LGBT march in Sayville.
So darling, darling, stand by me.
Members of a local LGBT group bowed their heads in a moment of silence to remember those who lost their lives in the Orlando shooting. The group chose to continue with the planned march in solidarity. Extra Suffolk County Police were also on hand to provide added security. And pride is also prevailing over terror in New Jersey tonight. News 4's Ida Siegel continues our live team coverage in Maplewood. Good evening, Ida.
And Linda, we are at the North Jersey Pride Festival, which was already planned before the news hit early this morning. You can see it's still going strong this evening. Here they are showing respect for the victims, but also demonstrating joy and pride in their honor. A celebratory mood at the New Jersey Pride Festival today, as intended. But it was a conscious choice to be joyous in spite of the utter devastation they had all been reading about in Orlando today.
I think I'm going through all the stages. Sadness at first, anger to follow for sure. We're grieving a little bit. You know, you never let a tragedy go to waste, right? It's an opportunity to kind of recognize what's important in life, and how timely that we had this event today.
For all those who are suffering grievous, unimaginable loss today, would you all bow your heads with me for a moment of silence?
Senator Cory Booker, previously scheduled to attend, took the opportunity to share in everyone's grief. He noted security at events like this was a priority, and though the motive appears to be more complicated than hate against a particular community, he urged people to be loving on a day marred by sadness.
Do not let this one malicious, vicious, hateful terrorist take away what makes us great as a nation. We cannot let the darkness undermine our light. We cannot let his hate undermine our love.
It is a message many here have agreed with.
We're just praying for all of them and their families, and hoping that politicians get serious about gun control, and so these things don't happen.
And security has been very present at the festival all day today. It's actually just wrapping up as we speak, as people begin to digest what has happened in Orlando today. Reporting live from Maplewood, Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.
All right, Ida, thank you. The presumptive nominees for president took a break from campaigning to offer their condolences. Hillary Clinton said in a statement, "I join Americans in praying for the victims. We need to keep guns like the ones used last night out of the hands of terrorists and other violent criminals." Donald Trump offered his sympathies to the victims and their families. He added, "If we do not get tough and smart real fast, we are not going to have a country anymore." Florida's chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations condemned the shooting with this statement: "The Muslim community joins our fellow Americans in repudiating anyone or any group that would claim to justify or excuse such an appalling act of violence."
And as we've told you, with at least 50 people dead, this is the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. Before today, the worst was the Virginia Tech massacre of 2007. 32 people were killed when a student carried out a shooting spree there. In 2012, 27 people were killed in the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting rampage. You may recall 20 children, 6 educators, and the gunman's mother were murdered. And in 1991, 23 people were killed at a Luby's cafeteria in Killeen, Texas. Please stay with News 4 New York, NBC News, and NBCNewYork.com for the very latest information about the nightclub terror attack in Orlando.
And also stay tuned for an hour-long Dateline special, the latest on the Orlando nightclub shooting that begins right after nightly news here at 7 p.m. on NBC4. All right, well, the rest of tonight's top stories are still ahead on News 4 here at 6. That includes a traffic stop that put 2 local police officers in the hospital in New Jersey.
And one of the city's most colorful and popular parades today. We've got the sights and sounds of San Juan right here on 5th Avenue coming up.
I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Erica Groh. It was great weather today for a parade. Tomorrow might even be better weather. I'll tell you about the 5-star day we have coming up in your full forecast.
Come to Sesame Place before little kids become big kids. Before dress up turns to makeup. And tag becomes hashtag. And don't miss our brand new show, The Magic of Art, featuring Abby Gadabby. Come to the only place that makes little hearts race. Save $20 on one visit through June 19th, only at SesamePlace.com. Sesame Place. Go before they grow.
Experience the thrill of the Lexus Performance line. Because the ultimate expression of power is control. Lease the 2016 IS 300 all-wheel drive for $329 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
1/5 of all the fresh water in the world flows into one incredible experience you can't find anywhere else. And that's not the only thing you can only find in New York State. You can find it all, only in New York. New York, it's all here, it's only here. Plan your summer vacation at iloveny.com.
All right, recapping our top story tonight, the deadly shooting at an Orlando nightclub. Here is what we know. The death toll right now at this hour standing at 50. Another 53 people have been injured. The gunman, Omar Mateen, is a New York native. A law enforcement official says he called 911 from Pulse nightclub professing allegiance to the leader of ISIS. Mateen bought his weapons legally. Within the past week, he was shot and killed by police. And more than a dozen police officers were involved in the shootout that took down Mateen.
And one Orlando police officer was hit by a bullet, but this remarkable picture, take a look here, shows how his life might have been spared. The Kevlar helmet there that the officer was wearing took the brunt of the damage. The officer did suffer an eye injury, but he's expected to be okay.
That is amazing. All right, tonight is usually a night of celebration for the Broadway community as they honor their own with the Tony Awards. But there is a big cloud over tonight's show. The American Theater Wing tweeted, "Our hearts are heavy for the unimaginable tragedy. Our thoughts are with the families and friends of those affected. The Tony Awards dedicate tonight's ceremony to them." And the cast of Hamilton, which is expected to sweep the awards ceremony, announced they would not be using muskets tonight in their live performance. As you might imagine, we'll have much more on this tonight at 11.
Other news tonight, 2 motorcycle officers in Newark are injured after a hit-and-run accident. This happened at 1 Lincoln Avenue early this morning. The officers were hit while attempting to pull over the driver of an all-terrain vehicle. The officers are expected to be okay. They were taken to the hospital to be treated. Police are looking for the driver of the car that swiped the officers.
Going to try and cheer things up a little bit here. Puerto Rican pride was all over Midtown Manhattan today. Well, there you see it, thousands lining the streets for the 59th annual Puerto Rican Day Parade. And Linda, right here, was an ambassador for today's event, a long day. And as they do every year, NBC and Telemundo employees rode on a float in the parade.
And as you mentioned, it was a
Early
little
morning.
tough because
Yeah.
obviously we had all heard the news, but
Right.
it was a day to celebrate all the positive of the community while remembering the victims
Right.
in our hearts as
Absolutely.
well. We try.
Yeah.
Well, coming up right here on News 4 at 6, hot, smoky conditions in one section of the 5 boroughs visible from miles around where that fire's been burning.
And Storm Team 4's Erica Groh will tell us if her 10-day forecast includes more of this heat and maybe some rain. Stick around.
What is this trophy that means so much to so many? Don't miss a moment. The Stanley Cup Final continues tonight on NBC.
American Ninja Warrior is moving to Monday.
I was diagnosed with cancer. The only way to save my life was the amputation of my leg.
Witness the impossible. New Ninja Warrior, Monday on NBC.
Hey guys, lunch is here. It's on me, fellas.
With the Chase mobile app, Stephen Curry can send money to more people in less time.
Thanks, Steph. No problem.
Even to friends at a growing number of other banks.
You ready to go? Come on, fellas, let's go.
Easy to use Chase technology for whatever you're trying to master.
Hey guys, how's the pool?
Introducing the new QX60 from Infiniti. Lease the new all-wheel drive Infiniti QX60 for $399 a month. Visit your tri-state Infiniti retailer.
There are families in New York City who struggle to make the rent, pay their bills, and keep their heads above water. They're not the families of unemployed workers. They're the families of New York City police officers who can't afford to live in the city they keep safe. Mayor de Blasio promised to end income inequality, but he's refusing to protect the families of the men and women who protect our city. Tell the mayor, police officers have families too. Pay them fairly.
Lester Holt joins us now from Orlando with what's coming up on NBC Nightly News.
Hey, Robin Liddy, coming up from Orlando, as you know by now, the deadliest shooting in U.S. history. We're here this evening where at least 50 people are dead, even more wounded following that shooting rampage. We will hear what's known about the shooter, Omar Mateen, who he was, what was his motivation. We'll also hear from some of those who were actually in the nightclub, including one harrowing story of escape from a young man who then went on to treat a wounded person. So we'll tell you all we know when we see you coming up for NBC Nightly News. Back to you in New York.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Lester. And you might have seen this outside. Crews working hard to fight a brush fire in Brooklyn, burning for hours, and the smoke could be seen for miles. This is video from our Top of the Rock camera in Midtown Manhattan. The blaze broke out around noon in Gerritsen Beach. More than 200 firefighters are now on the scene. We're told that at least one firefighter has been injured. NYPD helicopters have been flying overhead, dropping water onto that fire. The FDNY warns anyone in the area of Flatbush Avenue and Bell Parkway in Brooklyn to expect smoke and traffic delays.
And it is that kind of a day. Really, really hot, pretty dry, and very windy outside.
Yeah, we had a big drop in dew points. That's the measure of the humidity outside because of those strong gusty winds. Winds gusted to near 40 miles per hour in parts of the tri-state today. Those breezes are going to gradually settle down overnight tonight, and then tomorrow looks great. It's going to be seasonable and dry, warming through the middle of the work week as we bring in some more humidity as well. Right now in Northport, 71 degrees, 77 in Babylon. We're at 70 degrees in Bridgeport, only 66 in Poughkeepsie after reaching a high of 80 degrees. You'll see why in just a second here. On satellite and radar, we have those clouds pushing in, helping to cool things off a little bit and a change in the wind direction. But those winds are going to settle down overnight tonight. That's going to allow our temperatures to fall into the 50s throughout the entire tri-state area. So that fall-like feeling kind of coming into the forecast here. A high of 78 degrees tomorrow, just a 5-star day. 85 degrees for the middle of the work week as that humidity increases. It's going to be a little bit more like summer. Here's a look at that Storm Team 4 10-day forecast with mid-80s ending as some rain moves in for Thursday and Friday. Back to you.
Nice week. All right, we'll be right back with Bruce Beck and sports. Stay with us.
Tuesday at 6 on News 4 New York.
Why is the city allowing stagnant water to fester?
It's definitely a mosquito breeding ground.
The I-Team investigates. Is New York living up to its plan to fight Zika?
More investigations, more answers. Tuesday at 6. Closed captioning provided by Toyota.
It's great to be able to provide jobs and grow the manufacturing base in this country. We're in an industry that's expanding right now, and we're needing a bank that's willing to expand with us. We've had a partnership with M&T Bank for the last year and a half. They've really come in and understood our process and understand where we're going. It's been a great relationship, and looking forward to moving ahead with them in the future.
Thank you for dining with us. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.
I got this. Just gotta reach the check. Almost there.
I can't reach it.
If you have alligator arms, you avoid picking up the check.
What?
That's what you do.
I got this. Thanks, Dennis.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Oh, that is good crispy duck.
Kenneth, are they closing the stage this afternoon for auditions? What's on that piece of paper?
Oh, Miss Maroney, your forehead.
Should not be doing anything. I just had Botox.
I know exactly what's happening. Whoa! This is a bad streaming experience.
The Girly Show is a real fun ladies show.
Don't let bad streaming ruin a good show.
Don't look at me!
Only Verizon has the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. Can your network say that? Switch now, buy 2 Samsung phones, and get a free Samsung 50-inch smart TV. Only on America's best network.
The News 4 I-Team gets results after an I-Team investigation exposing women using children to beg for money. The Senate passed a new bill.
The I-Team and Melissa Russo have done an outstanding job.
The News 4 I-Team gets results.
What an afternoon at the stadium, a Yankees tradition like none other. It was the 70th annual Old Timers Day, and all the legends were on hand, including Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. The biggest ovation was reserved for the chairman of the board, 87-year-old Whitey Ford. And there were some highlights on the field, too. Hideki Matsui absolutely crushed a homer into the second deck and right off David Cone. Godzilla can still mash the ball. And how cool was this moment? 1978 World Series hero Brian Doyle ripping a single to right field. Doyle is battling Parkinson's disease. He said one of the few times he doesn't shake is when he's holding a baseball bat. What a terrific moment. As for the real game today, the Tigers dominated from the get-go. This 2-run homer by Ian Kinsler off Anthony Swarzak in the 7th put the game out of reach. The Bombers lose 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, 4-1 the final. And the Mets lost this afternoon as well. Mets manager Terry Collins was hospitalized in Milwaukee after feeling ill. He's said to be doing okay, but will stay overnight as a precaution.
At the Joseph A. Bank Super Tuesday sale, all executive and Joseph suits are just $199. Plus, get up to 70% off almost everything else in the store. And all traveler dress shirts are just $3 for $99. Only at Joseph A. Bank this Tuesday, Preview Day Monday.
Come to Sesame Place before little kids become big kids. Come to the only place that makes little hearts race. Save $20 on one visit through June 19th, only at SesamePlace.com. Sesame Place. Go before they grow.
Camden wasn't an easy place to grow up. But teachers like Mr. Elliott saw something in me, made a connection with me. Now I'm a teacher myself right here in Camden. I'm just passing it along to my own students and making those same connections my teachers made with me. Now that's some beautiful music. I'm Jamal Dickerson, and I'm proud to be a New Jersey educator.
People often ask me, they're like, Jim, your dad brand's so strong. What can I do? The most important thing I've taught my children is that they have to do things themselves. I don't want my kids to be part of this lazy culture that doesn't do things. That's why I bring them out here and I beat them at tennis. Probably the best gift I could give my children is to have them lose to me. That's what a dad brand's about.
Current owners or lessees of Honda or Toyota vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica for $229 a month.
All across New York, families are coming back to Time Warner Cable. Join them and switch right now.
We came back for internet speeds so fast, even the kids are impressed. Oh, she's impressed.
We're catching up on movies and shows on demand just as fast as we can watch them.
TWC's home Wi-Fi is so strong, we can use all our devices at the same time.
Come back and get installed as early as today. You'll get 100 meg internet, TV, phone, and more for $89.99 a month, and get a $300 reward card. Call now.
In New York State, we believe tomorrow starts today. All across the state, the economy is growing. With creative new business incentives, the lowest taxes in decades, and new infrastructure for a new generation. Attracting the talent and companies of tomorrow. Like in Rochester, with world-class photonics.